Imagine the ancient land of Moab, east of the Jordan River. A Hebrew family from Bethlehem in Judah, Elimelech, his wife Naomi, and their 2 sons, Mahlon and Chilion, have sought refuge there from a famine. Sadly, Elimelech dies, and his sons eventually marry Moabite women, Orpah and Ruth. 10 years pass, marked by sorrow as both Mahlon and Chilion also die, leaving Naomi alone with her 2 daughters-in-law in a foreign land. When Naomi hears that the famine in Judah has abated, she resolves to return home. She urges her daughters-in-law to remain in Moab with their own people and gods, showering them with blessings. Orpah tearfully bids her farewell, but Ruth clings to Naomi with words that echo through the ages. By saying these words to Naomi, "Do not urge me to leave you or to return from following you. For where you go, I will go, and where you lodge, I will lodge. Your people shall be my people, and your God my God. Where you die, I will die, and there will I be buried. May the Lord do so to me, and more also, if anything but death parts me from you." This powerful declaration of loyalty and faith marks a pivotal moment. Ruth, a Moabite woman, chooses to forsake her homeland, her family, and her gods, to cleave to her mother-in-law and embrace the God of Israel. Together, Naomi and Ruth journey to Bethlehem. They arrive at the beginning of the barley harvest, a time of hope and new beginnings. To provide for Naomi and herself, Ruth humbly goes to glean in the fields. By divine providence, she finds herself working in the field of Boaz, a wealthy and kind relative of Naomi's late husband, Elimelech. Boaz, noticing the diligent and respectful Moabite woman, inquires about her and instructs his workers to let her glean freely and even to intentionally drop some grain for her. He shows her great kindness, providing her with food and water and ensuring her safety. Naomi, recognizing the hand of the Lord in this unexpected kindness, encourages Ruth to continue gleaning in Boaz's field. She then devises a plan based on the levirate marriage custom to secure a future for Ruth. Following Naomi's instructions, Ruth approaches Boaz at the threshing floor and humbly asks him to spread his wing over her, a symbolic request for protection in marriage. Boaz, a man of integrity and honor, is deeply moved by Ruth's loyalty and her respect for Naomi. He acknowledges his responsibility as a kinsman redeemer, but mentions a closer relative who has the first right of redemption. In a public and legally binding act at the city gate, Boaz ensures that the closer relative relinquishes his right, and Boaz himself redeems Naomi's land and takes Ruth as his wife. The story culminates in joy and restoration. Ruth conceives and bears a son, Obed, who becomes the grandfather of King David. Thus, this Moabite woman, through her unwavering loyalty and faith, becomes an ancestor of the Messiah, Jesus Christ. What can we learn from Ruth and apply to our lives today? Ruth's loyalty. Ruth's unwavering loyalty to her mother-in-law Naomi, even after the death of her husband, is a testament to her character. She chose to leave her homeland of Moab and journey to Bethlehem with Naomi, saying, "Where you go, I will go, and where you stay, I will stay. Your people will be my people, and your God, my God." Ruth's dedication to Naomi and her faith in Naomi's God is a powerful example of commitment and faithfulness. radical faith. Ruth's decision to embrace Naomi's God and leave her own people was a profound act of faith. She trusted in the God of Israel, demonstrating a willingness to step into the unknown based on Naomi's faith. We too are called to trust God, even when the future seems uncertain, knowing that He works in ways we may not always understand. Humility and diligence. Ruth's willingness to glean in the fields to provide for herself and Naomi teaches us the value of hard work and humility. She didn't demand special treatment, but diligently sought to meet their needs. This reminds us that there is dignity in all honest labor, and that humility often opens doors to unexpected blessings. Kindness and compassion. Boaz, a relative of Naomi's late husband, showed kindness and compassion to Ruth by allowing her to glean in his fields and providing her with protection and food. His generosity reflects the character of God and calls us to extend similar grace and kindness to those around us, especially the vulnerable. God's providential hand. The entire narrative of Ruth is woven with the thread of God's unseen hand orchestrating events. What seemed like chance encounters, Ruth gleaning in Boaz's field, were actually part of God's plan to provide for Naomi and Ruth, and to ultimately bring forth the lineage of David. This encourages us to recognize God's presence and working in our own lives, even in the seemingly ordinary moments. According to the Bible, Ruth was a Moabite woman who married into an Israelite family. After the death of her husband, she chose to stay with her mother-in-law, Naomi, and journeyed to Bethlehem. Ruth's loyalty and faithfulness led her to glean in the fields of Boaz, who later became her husband. Through their union, Ruth became the great-grandmother of King David and an ancestor of Jesus Christ, the Messiah. I hope you've enjoyed Ruth's story and are encouraged by the message. Thank you for tuning in. God bless.